You know, the worst thing about working the weekend, you don't have time to make content. I went through hell yesterday. I had to turn around and pretty much reinstall Windows. If anyone would, I've revived my Twitch channel. That's going to be a thing now for a little while. Friday nights is going to be like my one night that I can stream right now because of the shutdown I'm in. If I can even do that, I might be too tired because it would be after work. But I gotta say, it was a lot of fun on Friday. If you missed the stream, it was a lot of fun. We actually got raided. I, I had like 90 people in chat at one point. Absolutely insane. Right? I don't get that. I don't get that interaction over on YouTube. I get all of you guys, which is absolutely amazing. You know, we get up to like 20, 25 people, and it's quite entertaining in that sense. But Friday night, I went through hell. If you weren't there for the Twitch chat, you didn't see the absolute debacle of a mess that I was in. I had nothing going right. So, of course, Saturday morning, I get up and I start going through my computer and I'm like, okay, what the hell's going on with this thing? Is there something wrong? And then I lose my NVIDIA drivers on top of it all. And I was like, okay, I'm sick and tired of this BS that I've been dealing with. What happened here? When I built the computer, when I lost my hard drive, I had to get a new hard drive. And what I did was I petitioned the hard drive. And when I petitioned the hard drive, this is a lesson learned. Don't petition your hard drives too small, right? It used to be back in the day, 100 gigs was more than plenty for Windows and everything you did on your computer. 100 gigs gets filled up in a matter of minutes now, between Windows taking up like 70 gigs through the operating system, and then every little program you download after that takes up a small little bit of that drive, because it has Windows assets that need to be there. And because by default, most programs will go to C drive, and when you install Windows, your Windows is now C drive, no matter what you do with your system. So I had a blank drive, a blank SSD that I had nothing on, and I went, you know what, I'm done dealing with this BS. Yes, I could sit there and try and petition and like go into a fix to petition the drive and make it bigger, make it the entire drive, but it just became a pain in the ass, because now you have to go out there, you have to find these programs, and you've got to hope that you don't have to pay for them. And these programs are expensive for some god-awful reason. To be able to fix a partition in Windows in a hard drive, to sit there and have them turn around and say, okay, well, we can fix it for you, but it's going to cost you $40 to $50. I might as well just go buy a new damn drive at that point through the process that is out there. It's absolutely ridiculous for these programs to sit there and say it's $40 for you to fix your partition, to move one little part of a hard drive to the end and collapse the whole thing together. I'm like, what is wrong with the programs out there these days? This should be like a simple thing that Windows does, but Windows won't make this program, and they just turn around and go, no, you can pay for it. No, you screwed up. You can pay for it. You can make your partitions the way they want. It's absolutely ridiculous at that point. Why in the world is this not a native thing in Windows to begin with? You know, this is lesson learned, right? I really should learn Linux or something like that. Just because Windows is not the greatest program out there on the market. Yes, everyone runs Windows because it's an ease of access program. The other thing that's really annoying, yes, I've reinstalled Windows. Yes, I have it going now. It made me create a PIN. So now when I log on to my computer, I have to type in this stupid PIN. And then you just sit there and you go, okay, how do I turn this off? Because I don't need this. I'm running this thing at home. I don't need to run passwords at home. If I want a password, I will lock my computer and put a password, which is what I do when I go to these gaming conventions. When I go to these LAN parties, you put on a password just so people don't mess around with your system. Because people joke, I'm all about the memes. I'm all about the jokes. And if someone gets a hold of my system, they will just turn my background into god awful knows what at this point. And it's very fun to joke with people. It really is. But I don't want that. I want my system the way it is, and that's how it is. And the newest stuff going on with Windows. I still have 10. I'm still running 10 right now. Yes, I can go to 11. I probably should. By November, I think I have to now, just so I get proper updates. But I'm going to deal with that when the time comes. Anyway, the Twitch debacle. What happens here? When you're in VR, when you've got the glasses on, of course you can't see your computer. You can't see your screens. Well, there's programs that you can use to actually be able to do that, and then you can pin these programs. So you take like OBS, and what I've been doing is I take OBS and I put it above my head. And there's two reasons to do this. One is to continue your orientation in VR, because when you're playing a game in VR, in not like Beat Saber where you're standing straight and that mode is always there, but when you're playing games in VR and now you're dealing with the third dimension where you're spinning around in your room, if you have something, I've heard the suggestions, you put a fan on the floor and that's in the back of the room, so you always know which way to stand. But for me, if I put OBS at the ceiling and I keep the orientation right, I know which way I need to stand to be able to not be tangled up in cords. And now, because I use this lapel mic, which is really nice investment for VR. If you don't have something like this, I really suggest this. This is by Hollyland. I got it on Amazon. It was $80. And you can, a lot of these come with 2 mics. This only came with 1. I am looking at getting a second one because I would like to do in-person interviews, and it would just make things a lot easier in that sense, especially if we go to another con and I want to do an interview with someone that's in full suit, that's something else. But I gotta say, it's a much different thing when you're in VR. Now you're dealing with the third dimension. So what was going on Friday was these programs, there's extra programs you can get. And one of these programs was not running correctly. So I couldn't turn around and move these other things. And what was going on is my Windows hard drive, the hard drive that Windows was on, which was the default drive for these things. And so every time I went to go boot it, it tried to bring up some cache, and that cache always tried to save to the C drive. And then it wasn't saving to the C drive because I had no space on the C drive. It wasn't crashing my Windows because it's just a partition on a much larger drive. So it's such a pain in the ass thing to do. So lesson learned, don't partition your hard drives if you don't really need to. If you're partitioning for Windows, make sure it's like 250 to 300 gigs, not 100 gigs. This used to be a normal thing. 100 gigs for Windows was more than enough, and it no longer is. It's absolutely ridiculous how much room you need just to run Windows and then all the other programs that you want to run. So, lesson learned. I now have Windows on a very, very large hard drive. It's a 2 terabyte hard drive. I didn't partition it. I said, forget this. I'm not partitioning this thing because everything's just going to save to it anyway. And I have other hard drives that I can save things to. So I just left it at that. And it works out very well in that sense now. And that partition for a hard drive can now just become a gaming drive. Once I just got to wipe it now at this point. So, lesson learned. A lot of people, I've had a lot of people say throughout this process, they're like, oh, you don't have to reinstall Windows. You don't have to do Windows over again. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I do. And now that I've redone Windows, all my troubles have gone away. So that's where I am right now with content creation. Unfortunately, because of that, I was only able to create one video for this week. I did have Saturday off. I didn't have a child, so it made things a lot easier to just to be able to pretty much tear down what I had to do. But you know what? I got it done, and so hopefully here in the near future, I don't have any more content creation interruptions until the video card decides to kick out, which I am a little worried about that because NVIDIA drivers went down. That was the one thing that was scary about all of this. When I lost two of the three monitors, I was like, did that power supply actually blowing up damage my video card? So I do have that worry in the back of my head, but it seems like it is fine right now. So until next time, you guys have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon. I am your proud Canadian Phoenix, signing off here.